Gather round, folks. Our tale begins at the majestic heavenly demon cult's demon palace, wrapped in a mysterious blue glow, setting the stage for our story. Inside, a shadowy figure speaks with despair, revealing that neither medicine nor magic will work to cure their ailment. They step forward into the light, apologizing. "I apologize, Cult Heir." With a stern look, Cult Heir responds that energy deviation isn't something easily fixed. "This is all my doing." Zrania, they confess they're still their master's pupil but have regressed. Born with a broken core, they reveal, deepening our mystery. Their body can't hold chi or magic, they lament. Rising again, they declare they became the heavenly demon, to repay my debt to my master. Looking out, pondering their next move, they admit, herbal medicine failed. Where could I find something of use? While he was walking, unknown greets the Cult Heir. "It's been a while, Cult Heir, have you been well while I was absent?" The figure, with a nod, reminisces, while Cult Heir replies, "It really has been a long time, Chun Hajin." Here we see the unknown name Chun Hajin. The Cult Heir acknowledges the time spent. "You must have taken quite a tour around our land in that time." The Chun Hajin shares their shared, just as the Cult Heir and cult leader are both unable to leave their current duties. With a sharp look he continues, "It is my obligation to get things done for the cult's prosperity." In return, Cult Heir simply replies, "I see." As they continue their walk, the figure expresses strange look and said, "I am grateful for your efforts." And with a touch of humor, they add, "There's no way that Snake Chun Hajin just went on a trip to see how people are doing." The unknown figure speaks with disdain, "Before he does anything stupid." The Cult Heir, surprised, responds, "I didn't expect this, to think he'd aim for the moment I'm in my own chamber." The figure, with a menacing grin, adds, "So that's why this matter stunk." Then, offering a drink to assassins, he says, "Would you like a drink too?" The Cult Heir, in a cautious tone, replies, "I feel sick drinking it all on my own." Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts as the figure attacks. Attack! The scene intensifies with the sound of battle. "If you sought this privilege, I'll judge you?" The Cult Heir, defiantly, challenges, "You dare to fight me in my own chamber?" The fight escalates, with the sound of action through the chamber. The battle rages on as shadowy figures surround the Cult Heir, their hands glowing with energy. One of them exclaims, "Illusion arts? When did he?" The Cult Heir, standing firm, taunts, "If you wanted to kill me in my own place," while unleashing a powerful energy attack. A hooded assailant, taken aback, thinks, "You should have prepared more." The fight intensifies, with the Cult Heir shouting, Cult Heir," as he strikes back. One of the attackers falls, and the Cult Heir warns, "I just warned you. You are not." The Cult Heir, his energy surging, declares, "Enough," as he unleashes a powerful attack, sending chains flying through the air. One of the shadowy figures, caught in the chaos, thinks, "So this is all you got after setting the stage?" The scene shifts as the Cult Heir stands victorious over the defeated attackers, his expression cold. He muses, "Don't you think your dear nephew would be disappointed at this?" The tension lingers as he looks around, asking, "Chun Hajin, elders?" The tension escalates as one of the figures groans, Crane's red beak is said to melt an entire ox with a single punch. Comments, "Chun Hajin said he'd handle this." The Cult Heir, still standing strong, mocks, "He can still laugh after drinking a cup of it." The atmosphere grows darker as someone exclaims, "He's a monster." The Cult Heir, unfazed, reveals, "If my body was in top condition, I would have been sure to leave him humiliated." How unfortunate. The scene shifts to show the aftermath, with the Cult Heir expressing disappointment, "I too, share that I couldn't accomplish your dreams." He continues, "There's no way I'll just stand by and let this orphan, who can't even learn martial art, be our next leader. My superiors even gave me permission to do this." The action resumes with a figure thinking, as the fight continues. The Cult Heir, observing the chaos, remarks, "Our elders really are quite easy to scare." Finally, he confronts the situation with a smirk. "You're going to attack a brat like me after feeding me poison?" The Cult Heir, with a dismissive tone, says, Just keep this talk up." He then challenges, "If you had just fulfilled your role as the Cult Heir, this wouldn't have..." His words are cut off as he demands, "Who's behind this?" The tension rises as he looks around, confused. "What?" He continues, piecing things together. "What are you on about?" "This was a decision by the elders and my still-living master of ice, Black Spirit and Skull." The figure before him responds with disbelief, "I know you lack the guts to do that." The Cult Heir, now more serious, questions, "Is it the Master of Lightning? Could it be Master of Gathering Demon?" The figure denies. No. The cult heir then speculates. It's an order from outside our divine cult. You elders have gone too far to kill me. With a cold smile, he adds, did Master die now because of your actions as well? The scene intensifies as the figure, enraged, shouts, who dares to do such a thing? The confrontation escalates, with energy surging around them. The battle continues with energy crackling through the air. The cult heir, in a moment of realization, says, seeing your response, it seems that I'm right. He's right. He then speaks with conviction. Master, this appears to be someone you always talked about. His anger flares as he adds, this damn fool finally stabbed us in our backs. The scene is filled with the sound of combat, zit, as the fight intensifies. The cult heir, amidst the chaos, speaks with resolve. No matter how much I dislike you, we still trained under the same master, and you are still the acting leader of the heavenly demon divine cult. He then threatens, I will end your life with my own hands. The figure, unfazed, responds with a smirk, heh. You've already planned all of this? Do you really need to keep up this facade? The cult heir, with a cold smile, retorts, of course. Your lack of wits is why you're a puppet of outer forces. The tension peaks as the figure shouts, how dare you, Yan Wunhui? You must not want to die an easy death. The battle intensifies, with the sound of combat, zust, filling the air. The figure, in pain, grunts, but reassures, don't worry, I will correct your mistakes and ensure the cult prospers. The cult heir, with a knowing look, simply laughs. Ha! The cult heir, laughing maniacally, mocks, Kuhaha. Ha ha ha, amidst the battle's chaos. The figure, now gravely injured, speaks with a mix of pain and determination, you have endured me for so long. The cult heir, unfazed, replies, yet you still don't know me. If you want to kill me, you should have remembered this one detail. The scene shifts as the figure, now on the ground, questions. Now that your time has come, your mouth seems to be restless? The cult heir, with a sinister grin, responds, is that, as the fight continues. The cult heir, with a triumphant shout, reveals, a demon dragon sword. Energy surges as he wields it. How long have you been hiding this power? The figure, now in shock, exclaims, he's already gathered this much mystic power? Could it be? The cult heir, with a sinister grin, explains, I have put all I have in the demon dragon sword, which contains the first heavenly demon's will. The scene is filled with the sound of power, zist, as the energy intensifies. The cult heir, laughing maniacally, while I was gathering all the energy I needed to defend against your laughable attacks. He mocks the figure's efforts. Elders, assume defensive formation. Utilize your internal energy. The figure, in desperation, shouts, quickly. But it's too late as the cult heir declares, it's too late, while unleashing a devastating attack, soul-combusting hellflame art. The scene explodes with power, the sound of the attack filling the air. Zist! The figure screams in agony. Ah! As the energy overwhelms them. The figure, engulfed in pain, lets out a blood-curdling scream. Ah! The cult heir, reveling in his victory, continues his assault, the energy from his attack overwhelming the scene. Boom! The aftermath is shown with the demon palace standing tall, the storm of energy dissipating, revealing the destruction caused by the battle. The sound of the final explosion echoes, zit, as the scene fades to black. The scene transitions to a moment of reflection as the figure, now defeated, thinks, no matter how pitiful my life might have been, amidst the destruction. His thoughts continue, I didn't expect I'd die like this. The cult heir, standing over him, coldly states, snow. The figure, with a laugh of despair, acknowledges, it's just like that day, ha ha. The cult heir, offering no mercy, says, I'll spare you here, you ghost-seeing fuck. The figure, in a last act of defiance, responds, if you say lies like I'm carrying an evil spirit again, I'll make sure you have a terrible time. The cult heir, unfazed, reveals, I heard his lower core is broken too. The scene shifts to show a young man, looking up at the sky, thinking, huh. An orphan with a broken core who claims he can see ghosts? I would have killed myself long ago if I was him. The young man, reflecting on his past, thinks, I simply said what I saw, but all I got was hatred. He continues, to endure such a shitty world. The scene shifts to a memory, showing a hand reaching out, then back to the present where he's climbing. Zit! He mutters, that exercise got me hungry. I really didn't have the temper to stay put. The action resumes as he confronts an enemy, shouting, what? You fucking brat. And then, get that fucker. His determination is clear as he climbs, breathing heavily, huff, huff. He thinks to himself, even those fuckers don't know when to give up. The scene ends with a close-up of his determined face. The young man, now facing ghostly apparitions, thinks to himself, just like you lost spirits. The ghosts surround him, and he defiantly shouts, "Get out of here!" Off. One of the spirits comments, "You have special eyes." He reflects on his past. Even when I was born, I couldn't even sense the energy of life. The scene shows him in tattered clothing. Since when has he been there? I couldn't even sense his presence. Expensive-looking clothes. He continues. And then more expensive-looking sword. A memory flashes. This place is far from the forest path, so if he comes specifically for me. He speaks to the spirits, haha. You must be interested in my cursed eyes. Take it as you wish. The scene shifts to a broader view, with the text, a life where receiving hatred and disrespect is so natural. He muses, I can't just take it. A figure approaches, saying, You look like a master of martial arts, what would resisting do? The young man responds, I didn't mind my life snapping into two. The figure continues. I don't know if these eyes can act as medicine for your powers. But pull them out, boil them, or grill them, you can do whatever you want. The young man, with a resigned look states, those eyes are no curse. The young man, looking up at the figure, asserts, they are a blessing. The figure explains, some people, like you, are born with a blessed upper energy core or with a special streak in their soul. He continues. And those children always ended up doing great things. The young man reflects. Those words were so sweet, they sounded like lies. The figure adds, you have the potential to become more special than anyone else in the world. But more than that, the young man interrupts. Because I felt warmth for the first time in my life. The figure then asks, so will you follow me, child? The young man, after a moment of silence, responds, yes. The scene shifts, with the figure saying, then to commemorate the moment we met, how about I name you Wunhui? The young man, now named Wunhui, replies, I gained a reason to keep on living. The scene transitions to a moment of reflection as the cult heir, now gravely injured, speaks, I did whatever I could to help my master. He continues. But because of this damn body of mine, my master fell into a state of energy deviation. He thinks to himself, accepting death here would be too pitiful. He realizes the dire state of his condition. My body is about to turn into dust. No matter what I do, my body cannot survive. With determination, he declares, then there is only one way. The scene shows him performing a powerful technique, Zut, as he activates the forbidden art of reincarnation, primordial divine art of reincarnation. The text explains, the forbidden art used by ancient practitioners of Taoism to overcome death by transferring their soul to another person's body. He continues, even if the transfer is successful, they are destined to live a short fate due to the new soul's rejection. The energy swirls around him as he says, I circulated the remaining mystic energy in the fragments of the demon dragon sword to activate this art. With a final burst of energy, he concludes, now I leave its success to the heavens. The cult heir, in his final moments, pleads, please, master. As energy surrounds him, Zut. He continues his technique, the light intensifying, Zut, with the words, be safe until I return, echoing as he fades away. The scene shifts to a figure observing, asking, do you understand your role in visiting the clan head? The young man, now named Wunhui, sighs, ugh, how annoying. The figure advises, as the son of a concubine, you should keep a low profile. Wunhui, now experiencing the effects of the reincarnation, thinks, my whole body is numb and tingling. Waking up to the sound of screeching is the worst. He questions, wait, did the primordial divine art of reincarnation succeed? A figure, calling out to him, shouts, Tang Wunhui? Wunhui, still on the ground, hears, are you listening to me? How long do you intend to lay on the floor? Get up. Wunhui, struggling to respond, thinks, Tang Wunhui. How annoying to share the same name as him. Moreover, he stands up saying, I've been enduring since earlier. The figure, now frustrated, yells, you dare fail to respond to an adult? The scene ends with a hand gripping Wunhui's collar. Zzzt, as energy crackles around them. Wunhui, still being held by the collar, defiantly says, sting so bad you could point your face somewhere else, you old hag? The figure, now visibly angry, responds, you dare refuse my rightful teachings and call me an old hag? Wunhui, with a smirk retorts, do not even dream of exiting until understanding your mistakes. The scene shifts as Woonhui walks away, the figure shouting after him. Phew! Finally, some peace and quiet. Woonhui, now alone, reflects. According to the records of this body, that woman is this child's stepmother. He continues. The primordial divine art of reincarnation only works on bodies that have just died or about to die. Even if this child was not her own son, I can't believe she beat him to the brink of death. He concludes, I thought my old life was pitiful, but this Tang Woonhui might match it. Anyways, this body is barley trained and in bad health. That's why he probably died. Woonhui, contemplating his new situation, thinks, but this body has something young Woonhui lacked. He focuses on his inner energy. A unique energy core, a lower energy core. He continues, if I can train lower core to learn martial art, on top of the martial art I learned in my previous life and power of my eyes to control the dead. He then dismisses the idea of revenge. No, not by necessity. His resolve strengthens, only then will I be able to protect my master. He reflects on his past, and take revenge and show the bastards who messed with the heavenly demon divine cult just who they messed with. The scene ends with a close-up of his determined face, surrounded by a mystical aura, as he clenches his fist. The scene shifts to an overview of the Sichuan Tang clan. The Sichuan Tang clan, one of Merim's 6 great clans and the ruler of Sichuan Merim. To their west, there is Tibet where the Patala Palace is, and Qinghai Kunlun sect is. To their south, there are the Heavenly Dragon Temple, Jiankang sect, and the 5 Poison sect. Lastly, to their north is the front line of the Central Plain Murim that opposes the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult. The scene shows a large group of warriors. There stands the group that leads the Tang clan in the vanguard, the Tempest Squad. The scene focuses on the leadership of the Tempest Squad. The leader of the Tempest Squad, who's also known as Pest Swordsman, Tang Quan. It's explained that, with the Tempest Squad, he founded 9 Dragons Branch, a branch of the Tang clan, the 9 Dragons Division. The commerce and strategic hub of Sichuan Merim, 9 Dragons County. In more detail is, the Tang Patriarch, Dark Supremacy Tang Munhyuk, Tang Hosun whom he had deep faith in. Tang Hosun had 3 child. Tang Quan, Tang Kuyul, and Tang Yukchan, 2 were children he had with Namgung Sanyong, his first child, Tang Kuyul. The scene ends with the wife. They were, his first child, Tang Kyujin, and his third child Tang Yuchang. The scene continues with the revelation about Tang Quan's children. Second child was born after his servant. A mistake he made while drunk. The figure, presumably Tang Woonhui, reflects on his status. I'm designated as the illegitimate child of this clan. Within the clan, his treatment is noted. Within the clan, others treat Tang Woonhui. A servant speaks. You say such things within the clan. While Woonhui, the child, still lives, the family patriarch. Tang Woonhui responds with defiance. So beg for forgiveness. The servant continues. So he is an heir candidate. Another person come in. She said to not bring in any food to the White Pavilion. Now, it looks like we'll all be starving too. Tang Woonhui looking down, still defiant thinks, I can't believe he has been brought down upon even by a servant. The servant, now angry, shouts, so beg for forgiveness. She'll let you go after some punishment. The scene ends with servant being struck, pa, as he falls to the ground, coo. The scene continues with the servant's shock. What the hell? I was being so kind by giving you advice. Tang Woonhui, now standing, responds, if you're confessing acting this way, I can't you help too? The servant, confused, says, huh. If you keep getting me, you'll get into trouble. The servant, now intimidated, starts to back off. I'll report this to the matriarch. Stop, I'm sorry. Hyungsam, well, I know you will do the right thing since we're from the same hometown, friend. You understand how I feel, don't you? The servant responds, yes, of course I do. I have always known the kindness you and the young master have shown to me. I will work even harder to serve both of you. Tang Woonhui, now more supportive, replies, then you'll get what I want, yeah? Servant, with a determined look, answers, yes, I will. I'll go prepare it immediately. The servant, now more determined, says, I'll be right back. As he leaves. The scene then shifts to Tang Woonhui, who is reflecting on his situation. Still, I can't believe my hand is stinging just from hitting him a few times. Tang Woonhui, just how weak are you? He continues. Not only does he have a weak body, he has no allies within the Tang clan. The narrative explains. It's partly due to the matriarch bullying him. It will be difficult to move around within the Tang clan at this rate. Tang Woonhui thinks to himself, all I can do is train. Then I can grow stronger, show what I'm capable of, and then solve the problem. The energy that's in this body. He reflects on his training. Since Master's Heavenly Demon 9, slashing is a demonic art, I can't use it with the cultivation technique of an orthodox faction. However, there must be many cultists within the Heavenly Demon Divine cult who came from the Tang clan and have been around for 1,000 years. Tang Wenhui concludes, this will put a lot of stress on the body since body hasn't been trained. Tang Wenhui continues to reflect on his situation. Taking the memories of putting it into the body was already big. He then decides on a course of action. I'll copy it from reality into the imaginary space and manifest it there. The scene shifts to show a mystical space. The space capable of manifesting this would be Logos, the Heavenly Demon Divine cult's old secret archive. Recently, Poison Archive. Tang Wenhui thinks about the benefits. Fortunately, it seems that using the primordial divine wheel reincarnation didn't cause me to lose much of my memory. He assesses his situation. In my current situation, the most suitable method for me is He looks at a book, Venom Dragon Cultivation Technique. The scene provides historical context. After the martial group of the Tang clan was chased out of the clan, they settled within the Heavenly Demon Divine cult. The narrative continues. This is how the poison arts of the Tang clan came to be allowed into the Heavenly Demon Divine cult. Tang Wenhui reflects on the techniques. Instead of using that clan's secret arts, they used demonic arts, the third poison arts. The explanation deepens. Poison techniques within the Heavenly Demon Divine cult are a branch of the demonic arts. He thinks about the Tang clan's unique position, while the Tang clan fights against the demonic cult. The scene shows more detail. There are groups within the cult that learn the orthodox martial arts of the Tang clan in a unique manner. Tang Wenhui contemplates the use of these arts. If I used the demonic arts via the Venom Dragon cultivation technique, then no one in the Tang clan would suspect me of anything. He ponders his situation. The issue would be that I need to go through excruciating pain in order to embrace that poisonous energy. He continues, to replenish the poison, I also need to consume poison that is of higher level. He reflects on his capabilities. However, the fact that I've made it this far. Finally, he acknowledges his unique advantage. My dead man's eye has been opened. Tang Wenhui, with a smirk, asks, how long do you plan to stare at me for? He then reminisces, while I know it was handsome in my previous life. He continues, I will still get a little embarrassed if you stare at me for so long. The scene shifts to a figure addressing him, Senior Cheon and the elders. A voice calls out, Yan Wenhui. Another figure comments, people always said you were crazy. But still, now, the great vice leader of the great Heavenly Demon Divine cult into such a state. The scene becomes tense as someone demands, cult heir. Release these chains. Another voice adds, we'll be able to handle our wrath. Tang Wenhui, observing the reactions, comments, seeing all of you react like that, makes me really happy. One of the chained figures retorts, how do you still have that nasty personality even after dying? This is why we wanted to revolt. Another figure adds, Tang Wenhui. If you guys were stronger, you should have prepared for the consequences. The scene intensifies as energy surges. Ugh! The figure with white hair, now in pain, acknowledges, you already knew what ability I had, didn't you? The scene culminates with Tang Wenhui standing triumphantly, Phantom King. Tang Wenhui, now revealing his power, declares, this is its power. The white-haired figure, now in a weakened state, warns, if you remain in this state, you won't even be able to reincarnate. You'll start to get impatient. Tang Wenhui responds confidently, think so? Damn it all. The white-haired figure, realizing Tang Wenhui's knowledge, asks, what you want is probably information. Tang Wenhui, with a smirk, replies, if you have all the information? Tang Wenhui, I don't need them. The white-haired figure, shocked, says, what? Tang Wenhui continues, I have many people who will give me that information. The scene ends with a dramatic display of power. As energy surges around Tang Wenhui. Tang Wenhui, now fully in control, explains, elders, this is a wraith sphere. He continues, it is filled with extreme resentment of the dead and is exponentially more vicious than most extreme venom. With a menacing grin, he declares, now, it'll become my nutrition. The white-haired figure, in agony, lets out a scream, ah! The scene shifts to show the aftermath with Tang Wenhui standing over the defeated figures. No way, he's still standing after eating that. Have you forgotten about how he raised hell even after eating the poison powder? He reflects, now that this left poison has become fertilizer for my Venom Dragon cultivation technique, it's time for you to make a choice. He then asks, Will you spill everything obediently? The scene ends with a close-up of the defeated elder, or will you get devoured? Tang Wenhui, now interrogating, says, "So, you were just following the orders to an organization known as the Great Demon Association?" One of the elders responds, "Yes, we're not lying." Another elder explains, "An organization that doesn't have a name. The problem lies in its members." Tang Wenhui, with a thoughtful expression, says, "They really showed us some weird things. Please trust us, cult heir." The scene shifts to provide more context. The heavenly demon cult that worships the heavenly demon as a god. An image of the cult's temple is shown, the elders of the divine cult that worship the heavenly demon as a god. The narrative continues. They rebelled against the heavenly demon and came to worship the cult heir. It concludes with, "This means that in comparison to the fear they feel from the heavenly demon, their fear instilled into this organization is far greater." Tang Wenhui reflects on the information. "I thought the Orthodox faction was the only one with extraordinary external forces scheme." The scene then shifts to reveal more about the mysterious group, warped individuals. It explains, "The tower that is in the skies." The narrative continues. "These are the people who have surpassed mankind and trying to climb to tower. They are extremely powerful beings who can do extraordinary things, such as natural disasters." Tang Wenhui, contemplating this, says, "It seems the mastermind is much stronger than I had imagined. The luxury of time and adjust the amount of poison and slowly get used to it." With a smirk, he concludes, "That is something I don't have." The scene ends with a time skip, 2 months later in the patriarch's room. "Are you sure you didn't give my food to that bastard?" Matriarch demanded, her voice cutting through the air like a blade. The servant stammered, "We wouldn't dare to go against the orders of the matriarch." But his nervous tone betrayed him. She slammed her hand against the table, her anger palpable. "Then why is he still walking around so normally? Shouldn't he have been crawling on the ground in less than 3 days and begging me for forgiveness? The rumors speak of me killing him and committing treason is circulating around the estate. The patriarch will be visiting soon. How can I face him if he such these rumors?" Taking a deep breath to calm herself, she leaned forward, her gaze sharper than ever. "Before we proceed, tell me," she commanded. "What did he ask you to bring to him?" The servant hesitated but eventually answered. He wanted information on the current political situation of the Jianghu, in particular information on the unorthodox and demonic faction. Her brows furrowed in disbelief. "He was never interested in these things before," she muttered under her breath. Her mind raced, connecting dots that felt unsettling. "He changed way too much in the past 2 months. Is there someone behind him?" Her eyes narrowed. The realization hit her like a storm. This wasn't just about him, it was a larger game at play, and she was determined to uncover the mastermind. The matriarch's resolve hardened as she prepared for the battles to come. The matriarch continues. "While he's useless, he's still the son of the branch clan patriarch. If he makes good impression during the patriarch's visit and piques his interest, he'll be able to obtain a position within the clan." The scene shifts to a shadowy figure manipulating a puppet. It's not strange for there to be tons of files that want to swarm around him with that goal in mind. Matriarch with angry face. "That attention is what Qujin and Yuchang should be getting though. Component placement, that cursed bastard dares to try and take it away?" A surprised reaction follows. "Eek." Then addresses the matriarch. "Matriarch, Master Yungang is here." The matriarch responds. It seems that he has already completed his isolated training. The servant decides to leave. "I will take my leave." As he exits, matriarch say, "Get lost. If you spot anything strange about that bastard, make sure you report it immediately." The scene shifts back to Tang Wenhui, who greets, "Mother, have you been well?" The matriarch responds, "Yes, I've been well. You've worked really hard. Come, sit down. Did you obtain your desired growth?" Tang Wenhui. "While it wasn't by much, I was closer to mastering hidden weapons." Matriarch replies, "That's great as expected of my son." Tang Wenhui. "I heard about that bastard on my way here. He's not repentant even after disrespectful to you." The woman, still frustrated, says, "I get headaches whenever I think about him. I don't know what he's up to." Another character responds, "I think he has someone behind him." "You think so too?" She continues, "He doesn't have much inner ki and he's not eating or drinking anything. There's no way he could have lasted for 2 months." The other character agrees. "Something must be feeding him every night." "That's what I was thinking too." The woman, puzzled, says, "I don't know which fool is supporting him though." The conversation shifts to a plan. "Which is why I want to recommend having him stay in the patriarch's room." The other character asks, "What? Why would you do that? Then he explains. If he's playing on a bigger scale, wouldn't the perpetrator start to move? She continues. That's right. Someone must be feeding him. To be feeding him elixirs and making him strong. She concludes, the person behind him who wants to claim credit will appear. That's right. If all of them or the perpetrator shows up. The woman, still in conversation, says, although if that bastard causes trouble, wouldn't it give the patriarch the idea that we're unable to keep even a bastard son under control? She continues, well, it's not like that we're unable to keep him under control. The other character responds, no matter what the perpetrator does, how much can that bastard son do? The woman, with determination, states, if he causes trouble, then I'll have to stop him from doing so. The scene shifts to show a figure meditating with energy swirling around. Even if the perpetrator pulls tricks, the level of someone who has only learned the Tang clan's poison arts. The figure continues, that even low-ranking servants can learn. The scene ends with a powerful energy surge and the figure thinking, can't be that high, can it? 6 years? Tang Wenhui's voice was filled with disbelief as he sat on the steps, his gaze distant. The servant, kneeling before him, explained, yes, young master. The heavenly demon cult had a civil war for the first time in 6 years. 2 months ago, I told Hyungsum to bring me recent history of the Jianghu, Tang Wenhui recalled, his mind drifting back. His thoughts continued. While I thought a lot of time might have passed because of the primordial divine wheel reincarnation, the weight of the revelation pressed down on him. This surpassed my expectations. 6 years? He whispered, the realization sinking in. The scene shifted to a darker tone, Tang Wenhui's expression somber. After 6 years of this despair, the servant, still on his knees, added, at the time, the heavenly demon went missing. What? Missing? Tang Wenhui's shock was evident. Yes, it was a wicked trick of the demonic cult for a while, the servant continued. It was chaotic, because we didn't know when the heavenly demon would return. The final thought echoed ominously. Master might still be alive. Tang Wenhui expression filled with a mix of determination and contemplation. There is slight hope, they think to themselves. The scene shifts to a flashback or memory, where a character expresses a desire to escape, although I want to run to Tianshan immediately. Back to the present, Tang Wenhui clenches their fist, energy crackling around it. I lack the power and means to do so. Tang Wenhui's determined face, especially information. Tang Wenhui, now more visibly empowered, speaks with resolve. I'm sure the traitor bastards are using all the information they can to find Master. A close-up shows the Tang Wenhui's intense gaze. But if they've yet to find him, I will need information rivaling theirs. The scene then shifts to a broader perspective, revealing a plan, and there is a plan for the Tang Patriarch to visit the Nine Dragons Division. The narrative concludes with a powerful statement, the Sichuan Tang Patriarch and one of the top 10 masters of the world. The figure stands in a dramatic pose, energy swirling around them, ready to take on the challenges ahead. The scene opens with the ominous declaration, the Dark Supreme, Tang Moon Hyuk, setting a tone of foreboding power. A shadowy figure stands before a crowd, their presence commanding. There are rumors that the Dark Supreme will establish a special security division. The figure's silhouette is highlighted against a dark, stormy sky. If I join that division, I can utilize the Tang clan's network. The narrative shifts to a muscular figure in a traditional setting, training intensely. And my chances of finding him will go up. And little fierce armored creature appears. Looks like you're on the right track as the 12 beats of the Violent Tiger. The 12 heads of the Violent Tiger. Introducing an advanced martial technique. A dynamic scene follows, showing a character enveloped in an aura resembling a tiger's head, an advanced basic technique that is taught amongst vagabonds. The scene intensifies. It is a martial art that utilizes half of their body, surrounding fists, palms, fingers, and feet, as lethal weapons. The final image shows a figure in a powerful stance, if one strengthens their physical body through pushing its limits with extreme muscle training. Tang Wenhui, his muscular form bathed in the soft light of his chamber, pondered deeply. So it's the big pill again? The scene shifted to a shadowy figure, their voice echoing with a sinister tone. Yes, there isn't much I can do, young leader. The security is harsh. Back in his room, Tang Wenhui's skepticism was palpable. If you don't work properly, I'm turning you into a spirit pill. A spectral figure of a spider, its eyes glowing with malice, responded, trust me. I did my best. Tang Wenhui, now with a determined look, declared, got it, got it. He continued, his gaze sharp. So what other information do you have? Such as where the Dark Supreme is? The spider, seemingly amused, replied, I'm not sure when the Dark Supreme is visiting, but Yucheng, was that his name? Yes, he finished seclusion training and has returned. Tang Wenhui's interest piqued. Tang Yucheng, the Dark Supreme's visit draws nearer, so it makes sense for him to come out. The spider's voice carried a hint of intrigue. Tang Yuyang? That's right, so I drew him out. In a moment of realization, Tang Wenhui exclaimed, That's all? But the spider had more to reveal. I saw him and his mom having a secret meeting about you. Namsoon's words echoed in Tang Wenhui's mind. Namsoon said that Tang Yuyang had a secret meeting about me. Tang Wenhui, his expression serious, pondered aloud, Tell me what you heard. The scene shifted to a serene view of the Tang clan's architecture, as he continued. So they're trying to get rid of me during the Dark Supreme visit? His thoughts deepened. And they think there's something behind me? In his chamber, a small spider figure of determination, he answering, Yes. He looked at the spider, his eyes narrowing. They sure are writing novels. His skepticism grew. But to think they're recommending me to the security division. Reflecting on the situation, Tang Wenhui mused. Here I was wondering how I'd join, yet they're clearing the path for me. With that being said, I can't say I like that they're doing to embrace me. A voice called from outside. Young master, it's Hyung Sam. Tang Wenhui, slightly surprised, responded, Come in. His gaze fell upon a steaming bowl brought in. What is this? The answer came. The lady said this is a tonic for you. The lady? Tang Wenhui questioned, his curiosity piqued. Didn't she say not to give me something to eat? A servant, standing respectfully at the door, explained. She said that you would have been hungry, and since you suffered so much pain, you should replenish your energy. Tang Wenhui's skepticism was clear. This old woman has gotten more curious. He sighed, a soft "hoo" escaping his lips, before he decided, okay, leave it there. The servant, bowing slightly, added, She wanted me to see you to drinking it. As the servant left, Tang Wenhui muttered to himself, He then read the note attached to the bowl. Based on what I heard, it's probably laced with lunacy poison. His eyes narrowed as he continued, Since I've already learned the violent dragon cultivation technique and the wind god technique, even some divine grade, this is useless. He examined the tonic, pondering, 100-year ginseng, mixed flowers, and a small amount of the poison. There's even some purification tables. A figure of power emerged in his mind, energy swirling around him as he thought about the potency of the concoction. It's an elixir so miraculous that consuming it once or twice would help one recover their energy and even increase it, but consuming this combination in such a state would affect the body with toxicity. Finally, Tang Wenhui concluded with a resigned tone. Well, I expected as much. Tang Wenhui's eyes narrowed as he sensed something amiss. There's cinnabar poison in it. His mind raced with suspicion. Giving cinnabar poison to the young leader? That Namgung clan bitch must be crazy. The spider, appearing in the shadows, added, How dare she use witchcraft on the young leader? Tang Wenhui's voice was firm as he commanded, Spy on her and find out who her sorcerer is. The spider saluted. Yes, sir. As the realization dawned on him, Tang Wenhui muttered, Driving me crazy using the lunacy poison, then using sorcery to turn me into a puppet. Is that her plan? He looked at the bowl with disdain. I'm curious as to how good her sorcerer is. After a moment, he addressed the servant who had returned. I finished drinking it, so why are you still here? The servant replied, his voice low. There's a martial master waiting outside. They were sent by the lady. Tang Wenhui, his expression serious, asked, Martial master? I am Tangon, the martial master assigned to young master Wenhui. Tangon declared, standing tall on the rooftop. He then extended an olive branch. Although not for long, let's get along well. A figure beside him, fierce wind warrior Tangon, nodded in agreement. Fierce wind warrior, Tangon. The narrative shifted, revealing Tangon's past. Back when the Tempest Squad was fighting on the front lines, he was the largest contributor. Tangon's prestige was further elaborated, and he's one of the top 5 masters in the 9 Dragons branch family. Suddenly, Tangon let out a loud yawn. Yawn. Despite his yawn, he continued, But he's someone who lives lazily because he couldn't be bothered with any more duties. Why is he suddenly my master? Tangon, with a knowing smile, explained, I was asked to train you 4 days before the clan head's visit. Tang Wenhui, with a hint of amusement, replied, he accepted because he was too lazy to help with festivity preparation. Tangon shared his perspective. By having Tang Wenhui trained by me, she creates the impression that she does indeed care for her stepson. And she wants to control me with sorcery to shame me in front of the clan head. He has no idea what he's getting into. Tang Wenhui mused, a smirk playing on his lips. I was wondering what she was doing, but it seems she had a scheme in mind. He turned to Tangon, his curiosity evident. And what are you going to teach me? Tangon, with a calm demeanor, responded. There is a technique set for you to learn. Tang Wenhui, intrigued, asked. Set? Tangon's voice was firm. I won't show twice, so watch closely. The scene shifted to a courtyard where several figures were practicing, their movements swift and precise. This movement technique where you move like a shadow. Tang Wenhui observed, his eyes narrowing. This is... As Tangon demonstrated, his form blurred. The shadow-shrouded step. Tang Wenhui watched intently. The one Tang Yucheng uses? Yes, this is the foundation of the shadow-shrouded arts young master Yu Young uses. Tangon explained, his tone instructional. Tang Wenhui, his interest piqued, thought aloud. She's planning to show off her son by comparing him to me, huh? Tangon continued. With its covert movement, the shadow-shrouded step is perfect to use with poison or Haitian weapons. As they moved to a more open space, Tangon instructed. I've left footprints on the ground, so just follow them. The scene showed Tang Wenhui following the faint traces on the ground. He moves like a shadow even when leaving clean footprints on the ground. Tangon, observing, nodded approvingly. He's worthy of the title Fierce Wind Warrior. With a confident smile, Tangon encouraged, all right, I've told you how to do the shadow-shrouded step, so try your best to learn it. Tang Wenhui. I learned it all. Tangon, if you aren't sure about something, feel free to talk to me. Tangon's expression then shifted to one of surprise. What? I just learned the shadow-shrouded step, Tang Wenhui announced, his voice carrying a hint of pride. Tangon, looking at him with a mix of surprise and skepticism, replied, I don't think you understand. As you've learned martial arts before. He paused, then continued. But the shadow-shrouded step is quite difficult. It took 10 days for the Tempest Squad members just to learn the form. Tang Wenhui, unfazed, retorted. Even a genius like me took 5 days. Tangon, with a thoughtful expression, added, and as for truly understanding the meaning behind the form, it takes 3 months. Tang Wenhui couldn't help but chuckle. Ha, calling yourself a genius? Tang Wenhui, with a slight smile, explained, so that's how long it takes. Tang Wenhui, standing confidently, said, if you understand what I'm saying, keep practicing. And I learned it all. Tang Wenhui declared, his gaze steady. Tangon, impressed, responded, young Master Wenhui, this isn't something you can just see once and copy. With a hand to his face, Tangon mused, I want to see it then? 30 silver coins on whether I learned the shadow shroud step properly or not, Tang Wenhui proposed, his voice light with challenge. Tangon, taken aback, exclaimed, 30? Tang Wenhui, with a sly grin, continued. Oh ho, you finally opened your eyes? From what I know, your monthly wage is around 10 coins. Tang Wenhui, now more serious, replied. I need to bet it lasts 3 months worth of wages for it to be a proper wager, no. Ahem. The shadow-shrouded step is a precious martial art made in the spirit of the Tang clan, Tangon declared, his tone turning formal. Tangon, puzzled, asked, betting on such a thing? Tang Wenhui, with a confident smirk, addressed him. Sir Martial Master. Tang Wenhui's expression shifted. Are you scared? Tangon, his eyes gleaming with determination, responded. Scared? Nah, you're scared. Tang Wenhui taunted, a smirk playing on his lips. The fierce wind warrior himself said he took 5 days. To think a man can be so scared. Tang Wenhui, standing firm, replied, it's fine, I'll just keep training by myself. Tangon, with a determined look, called out, hold it. He continued, his voice firm. You're quite talented at scratching a person's ego. All right, I'll accept your money as your fee for not respecting martial arts. Tang Wenhui, with a confident nod, asked, you accepted it, right? There's no taking back, okay? Tang Wenhui stated, his tone leaving no room for argument. All right, so go ahead and show me how. Tangon challenged, his stance ready. The scene shifted to Tang Wenhui moving with incredible speed, his form blurring across the courtyard. What? How? Sir Martial Master? Tang Wenhui's voice trailed off, a playful smile on his face. Tang Wenhui, looking up with a smirk, teased, you were planning on having some drinks today? Tang Wenhui, feeling the weight of the situation, replied, "This feels quite heavy." Tang Gan, now sweating slightly, exclaimed, "My coin too?" His expression turned to one of shock. "No way. This is a scam." Tang Gan exclaimed, his voice rising in disbelief under the clear blue sky. "When did you learn the shadow-shrouded step?" Tang Gan asked, his tone a mix of surprise and skepticism. "What do you mean a scam?" "I just learned it," Tang Wenhui retorted, his frustration evident. "Did I ever have an opportunity to learn martial arts before this?" "Ugh. Well, that's true, but..." Tang Gan started, his expression showing a hint of exasperation. "How did you do it after only seeing it once?" Tang Gan questioned, genuinely curious. "Were you always so petty so as to deny results?" Tang Wenhui shot back, a smirk playing on his lips. "Pfft." Tang Gan couldn't help but let out a laugh. "Wanna go again? Don't you have any other martial arts?" "This is kinda boring," Tang Wenhui complained, his voice laced with boredom. "Ah, I guess I'm too much of a genius for this to be fair, right?" Tang Gan replied, his tone teasing. "Not only are your pockets empty, so is your confidence," Tang Wenhui retorted, grinning widely. "Just wait here. I'll be back with more money to bet right away," Tang Gan exclaimed, turning to leave with determination. "Ha, how simple," Tang Wenhui chuckled, watching Tang Gan's departure. "I know many more secret arts that are harder than the shadow-shrouded step," Tang Gan shouted back, his voice echoing with challenge. "Let's see how far you can get." Tang Gan called out, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. "He must be quite flustered," Tang Wenhui remarked with a smirk, watching Tang Gan's retreat. Not only did a person who had never learned martial arts copy what he did after only seeing it once, Tang Wenhui continued, his voice filled with amusement. "He even got his coin purse taken," he added, shaking his head in mock disappointment. "I've never learned martial arts myself," Tang Wenhui confessed, his tone shifting to one of reflection. "But the people I faced as a cult heir." The scene shifted to a dramatic flashback, showing a figure standing amidst fallen warriors. "We're all renowned masters in the martial arts world. It's easy to remember the form of most basic martial arts. Moreover," Tang Wenhui explained, his confidence returning. "How is it, cult heir?" "I did well, didn't I?" The spirit companion floating beside him. "Yeah, good job," Tang Wenhui replied with a grin, acknowledging the spirit's help. "No matter how talented one is," he concluded, his eyes gleaming with determination. "Stealing from someone who's much more skilled, like how I stole Tang Gan's coins, would typically be impossible," the spirit explained, its form shimmering with pride. "However, if the spirits just push the objects a little, it can be done easily," it continued, demonstrating its ghostly abilities. "Now, it's time to empty my new teacher's reserves of coins and martial arts," Tang Wenhui declared with a mischievous grin, his eyes glowing with anticipation. The scene shifted to show Tang Gan standing in the distance, unaware of the plot against him. 4 hours later. "Soul-chasing butterfly?" Tang Wenhui shouted, performing a swift movement technique. "Ugh. What about the Tempest physical arts?" he questioned, his expression one of surprise. "Surely not the Tempest dozen spins?" he continued, his movements becoming more intricate. "What?" Tang Gan's reaction was explosive, coins flying around him in his shock. He may be a heretic but still feels sorry. It is his misfortune to be associated with the cult heir, the spirit mused, floating beside Tang Wenhui. "I remember how I suffered in my life," another spirit companion said, his voice tinged with a mix of nostalgia and determination. "Anything else?" Tang Wenhui asked with a smirk, standing confidently. "Ugh, I can't loan any more money from the bank," Tang Gan replied, looking defeated on the ground. "Really? That's unfortunate," Tang Wenhui responded, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "Then, how about one last one?" Tang Wenhui proposed, his interest piqued. "Didn't you hear me? I'm broke," Tang Gan retorted, frustration evident in his voice. "That's why I'm suggesting it," Tang Wenhui said, extending his hand with coins. "Let's put everything on the line, like men," he challenged, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "Do you intend to sell me as a slave?" Tang Gan asked, his expression turning wary. "Well, it's nothing like that," Tang Wenhui reassured. "You do have one important martial art that I wouldn't be able to copy easily." Tang Wenhui mused, his finger raised in thought. "Tempest dance." "Young Master Wenhui," Tang Gan addressed him, his tone serious. Tang Wenhui responded, his curiosity piqued by the mention of his name. "Ah!" Tang Gan exclaimed, his body twisting in midair as he performed a complex move. "Other martial arts may be fine, but the Tempest dance is the soul of the Tempest Squad?" To speak of the Tempest Dance over a wager is equivalent to disrespecting the Tempest Squad that is the foundation of the Nine Dragon Division, Tangon stated, his voice stern and his expression serious. Please refrain from speaking of it, he added, his tone leaving no room for argument. Tang Wunhui. He may seem lazy, but he really is the fierce wind warrior of the Tempest Squad, he continued. Do I lack the right to learn the Tempest Dance? Tang Wunhui questioned, his curiosity and determination evident. Tangon. Of course, you have the right. You are the son of the head of this family branch. I've shown it to both the first daughter and the third son. So showing it to you would not be an issue in itself. But then his expression hardens. Tangon, I'm not talking about bloodlines. I'm asking whether you think you're someone who will be able to learn it. His words cut deep, causing Tangon's eyes to widen in shock. What do you? Before he can finish, his mind races, realizing the gravity of the question. His aura flares with fiery determination. He shouts, Tempest Squad's fierce wind warrior, Tangon. His voice echoes with desperation and pride. To you, am I someone who has what it takes to become a Tempest? His fierce declaration hangs in the air, his spirit blazing with the desire to prove himself worthy, no matter the cost. Amidst a fierce, swirling wind, Tang Wunhui stands firm, his eyes blazing with determination. His voice echoes through the chaos, raw and unwavering. Do I, Tang Wunhui, have the right to continue? His body surges forward, energy rippling around him as his fist cuts through the air with fierce resolve. The mission of the Tempest Squad? His shout is a challenge to fate itself, filled with the weight of his ambition and purpose. Tangon's eyes widen, his body tensing as he feels the force of Tang Wunhui's spirit. A somber echo resonates. The mission of the Tempest. Scene shift to flashback. A battlefield stretches endlessly, littered with fallen warriors and shattered weapons. The wind howls mournfully, carrying the lingering cries of a brutal defeat. After that dreadful loss, the narration continues, the weight of history pressing down. Shadows stretch over a grand fortress, its walls scarred from past sieges. A small group of warriors stands in formation, their heads bowed, burdened by the memory of those they lost. We are temporarily Zephyrs, the voice admits, acknowledging their weakened state. Their spirits flicker like fragile breezes, yet determination burns within their eyes. From a cliff's edge, a lone figure gazes into the distance, the wind billowing his cloak. However, we shall become true Tempest once again. His grip tightens around his blade, resolve sharpening like steel. A storm is brewing. The Tempest shall rise anew. 20 years passed like that. The mission of the Tempest that I had buried in my heart, he reflects, memories of honor and loss intertwining. Tang Wunhui stands tall, his eyes fierce, shadows of the past swirling in his gaze. To think I would hear those words from young Master Wunhui, the weakest out of the heirs. Yet, his heart quivers. However, a spark ignites within him. The mission of the Tempest. Those words do cause my heart to quiver, he admits, old loyalties resurfacing, his expression hardens. But you just brought up the Tempest Dance for a wager. I cannot believe that you are truly being sincere with your words. Tang Wunhui. Ugh, what a pain. Wunhui's eyes gleam with cunning. 4 hours ago, when I first met you, he begins, his words sharp. If I had asked you to teach me the Tempest Dance so that I would be able to carry on the Tempest. His voice hardens, his resolve unshakable. Would you have done so? Tangon's face tightens, and Wunhui's accusation lands its mark. You were planning to run off after showing me the Shadow Shroud step once. The Tangon hesitates, scratching his head. Well, I can't deny that. Tangon's gaze sharpens, his voice laced with triumph. So you taunted me to bait me into accepting your wager in order to prove your worth. His words echo, leaving the elder speechless. In this dance of minds and skill, who truly leads, and who follows? I see. I heard rumors that you have changed, Tangon muses, his sharp eyes narrowing. But I see you've actually been hiding your wits and power. Wunhui stammers, huh? Yep. Tangon's gaze sharpens, his voice firm. The martial arts I have taught you, including the Shadow Shroud step, are martial arts that are hard to perform with the level of internal energy the young Master Wunhui I knew possessed. His arms cross as his posture turns rigid. 2 months would be nowhere near enough time to build up sufficient internal energy, which means you've been building up your energy for ages, keeping it hidden from the madam. His voice lowers, his words carrying the weight of a heavy accusation. Only now, when the Dark Supreme is visiting, are you showing your hidden claws? Wunhui's response is casual, almost cheeky. Yep. The elder's face twists into a grin, his laughter booming. It is truly a nefarious scheme to backstab your family. He erupts in applause, his eyes gleaming with admiration. Wunhui's thoughts echo his bemusement. I understand this is considered a compliment in the Tang clan, but it still feels weird to hear. A bond forged through schemes and secrets, Tang Wunhui's gambit begins to take shape and muses, that lad must have seen the true worth of the cult heir. He continues, I cannot help but marvel at the most skilled user of the mapping technique in the divine cult. The scene shifts to show ghostly figures as Tang Wunhui exclaims, damn ghost geezers? Do they want to become a spirit pill? Back to the conversation, Tang Wunhui asks, so will you teach me, or not? Tang Gon, standing before him, ponders with a simple, The ghostly figures reappear, and one speaks, there is no point in resisting, nobody can resist the cult heir's sweet words. Another adds, that technique is the reason he managed to get so many to pledge allegiance to him. Finally, Tang Wunhui, with a determined look declares, all right. Spirit pills it is? Tang Gon, now focused, responds, all right. I'll teach you, the Tempest dance, properly. Tang Wunhui, with a thoughtful expression, begins. Then, the scene shifts to show Tang Wunhui standing solemnly in front of traditional architecture, Tang Wunhui of the Tang clan. He continues, asks for his master, Tangon's, teachings. Tangon, looking somewhat surprised or contemplative, as the request hangs in the air between them. Member of the Tempest squad, First Wind Warrior Tangon, accepts the request. Tang Wunhui stands before him, Tangon, with a serious expression, says, unlike the previous martial arts, as the scene shifts to show his foot moving swiftly, the Tempest dance. The action continues, with Tangon demonstrating the technique, his movements leaving trails in the air. Will be difficult to learn so quickly, he warns, emphasizing the complexity of the new skill he's about to teach. Tang Wunhui, with a confident smile, suggests, let's change the bet then. Tangon, looking a bit surprised, asks, eh? We're still betting? Tang Wunhui, still grinning, proposes, we'll bet on whether I can learn it by today. He adds with a playful tone, the loser buys the winner a meal and drinks. Tangon, shaking his head with a mix of amusement and resignation, sighs. Sigh, you really? With determination, Tang Wunhui declares, all right. One meal. I do believe I will win this time though. He then challenges, now, watch closely. The former Tempest squad members promise not to interfere in matters concerning the inheritance of the head of the family. Tangon, shrouded in a dynamic pose, soars above a traditional building, exuding power and resolve. Therefore, even if Wunhui continues Tempest, Tangon wouldn't be able to support him as the next heir, but it would tell the others this. The scene shifts to Tang Wunhui, his face partially shadowed, his expression serious and determined. The new Tempest. Amidst swirling energy and the dramatic backdrop of a storm, who can join us on our path of the Tempest, and we can share a drink with has appeared. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a close-up of a Tangon, who seems to be in a contemplative mood, as the text abruptly changes. Scratch that. Tangon, with a resigned yet accepting expression, concludes, I don't mind losing the bet. A stack of empty bowls, some with remnants of food, sits on a table. Tangon remarks, the greater young master Wunhui is, the better it is for all of us. However, the tone shifts as the same character exclaims, however, with frustration, this damned guy isn't sharing even a drink with me. The scene then shows Tang Wunhui, surrounded by more empty dishes, eating alone with chopsticks. Tangon bursts out, how the hell is this a meal? Expressing his dissatisfaction with the situation. Haha, Tangon, do you need anything else? A old man jovially asks, standing beside a table laden with empty dishes and a few remaining plates of food. Tangon, looking slightly inebriated, responds, give me another bottle of alcohol. I cannot bear to watch this while sober. Tang Wunhui, observing Tangon, remarks with a smirk, ah, I see you're quite the drinker. Should we have gone to Dragon Tower? Tang Wunhui, holding chopsticks and looking up, Tangon exclaims in surprise, do you know how expensive that place is? This bar is quite high-end too. It's the most popular restaurant around here, old man remarks as they sit at a table in a well-furnished establishment, surrounded by stacks of empty plates. Another character, observing the surroundings, agrees, definitely seems so. Tangon, with a pile of dishes in front of him, comments, I was more than willing to pick up the tab even if it was a little expensive, but who knew you'd eat enough to take up a week's worth of my food budget? As Tangon raises a bottle and a toast, Tang Wunhui adds, going to an expensive place like Dragon Tower wouldn't fit my plans either. It needs to be a place like this with many people. Tang Wunhui mused, sitting in a bustling restaurant, observing the crowd. He continued, I had to hold back for 2 months because of the ban Nam Gung Sun Young put on me from leaving, as a hand with a purple mystical energy was shown, but I can't delay it any further. The scene then shifted to show ghostly figures as Tang Wunhui declared, "This is the communication spell of the revered demon god mythos." Finally, with a sense of urgency, he questioned, "Did you come to this place to leave such a mark?" Tang Wunhui, eyes blazing with fierce determination as ghostly spirits swirl behind him. He slams his fist down, declaring, "I need to let those who are still in despair know." His voice resonates with unwavering resolve. In that charged moment, he proclaims, "I, Cult Heir Yun Wunhui, 10 days have already passed without any suspicious activity. How much longer do I have to keep watch?" With a hint of frustration in its tone. It responds to itself, The creature then observes a figure in a sect uniform approaching, commenting, "Isn't that the Ching Cheng sect uniform?" As the figure nears the building, it notes, "Someone's here from the Tang clan family." Zooming in for a closer look, the creature identifies, "Ah, I see. That person is their first young lady, Tang Yu Jin. Since she's the daughter of the Namgung wife, there's bound to be some scheming should the two meet." With a tone of hope it muses, "A daughter. I hope that child is safe and sound." Finally, the creature, showing worry, exclaims, "Oh my, now isn't the time." The small creature resolves, "I'll get on the junior lord's good side and ask for a favor." As it watches a figure approach a grand building with traditional architecture. Small creature thinks, "Do you fully intend to push a dagger into your mother's heart?" Gyu Jin speaking to his mother. "It would still be nothing compared to the number of times you've hurt Wunhui. And this time, you've ordered his confinement and fasting." Matriarch responds, "You do not have to worry about that. Right now, someone has his back and is secretly providing for him." Gyu Jin challenges the matriarch with a fiery tone. "Do you think that's any reason to treat him like that?" Her voice filled with anger and disbelief. The Gyujin, standing in a dramatic red backdrop, responds with a sneer, "I'm sure you didn't even know he had someone's backing. Were you planning to get him killed?" The matriarch retorts, "Why are you making such a fuss over a mere bastard son? And you still call yourself a child born of my own flesh and blood? Bastard son this, bastard son that? You haven't changed a bit, mother." Gyu Jin then declares a decision, "I will have no choice but to reveal the truth." Suddenly, matriarch intervenes, Wait a moment, just a moment, Jin." Trying to halt the conversation. But Gyujin left the building. Matriarch sits quietly, talk himself. Her righteousness has been her weak point ever since she was little. But it's gotten worse after entering the Qingcheng section. How will she receive the position of successor when she's acting like that? The small creature watching everything and remarks, How do I report this?" Creature continue, "This family is a dysfunctional one?" Matriarch, "Everything is that bastard son's fault," expressing her frustration. The matriarch, with a dismissive tone replies, "There's no need to wait for the Dark Sovereign's visit." The matriarch wonders aloud, "Is someone out there? I'm heading out." As it moves, creature muses, "An outing because of the junior lord? Oh no." The creature then observes, "I'm certain she's leaving to meet a sorcerer. It's already been 10 days since I've engraved the summoning order mark on the tavern, but there's been no reaction at all." The scene shifts to show a Tangon and Tang Wunhui moving swiftly through a courtyard. He continues, "Even in Julong County, the demon-worshipping divine fire sect's contact should have had the deployment information. Either the contact withdraw, or they can't act freely because of some restriction. It's clear that the situation isn't good for either side." Wunhui, feeling the urgency, thinks, "I need to hurry and become stronger." Tangon. Sigh. "Good job, I see you're good at imitating the weapon art as well." Tang Wunhui respond, "Are you still upset?" Tangon. For a person of the Tang clan to learn weapon arts before the assassination and poison arts. Tang Wunhui reflects on the situation. These Tang clan bastards are so narrow-minded. Showing its frustration. Tang Wunhui remarks, "This dispersing flower technique is also a martial art of the Tang clan." He continues, "That's why it's separated into parts like this." Tangon, looking thoughtful, says, "You've already noticed?" indicating he's aware of someone's perception. Tang Wunhui responds with a light tone, "I'm not your amazing student who learns 10 things when you teach one." Tangon suggests, "How about learning some humility?" He explains, "Because many sects try to express the understanding of martial arts in forms. The movements of a signature technique often end up unnecessarily complex. However, the Tang clan is famous for their assassination technique and poison arts. Two martial arts that make use of tools. Therefore, the Tang clan's martial arts have broken their signature technique into parts. So that no matter what tool was used up, they could move to the next tool. Therefore, while the Tang clan's martial arts are far from flamboyant, they make up for it in practicality. Woonhui speaks. Of course, the Tang clan's weapon system is the basis for successful assassination and effective poison usage. But Master's Heavenly Demon's 9 weapon system is also a signature technique that's broken into parts. The Tang clan's weapon art system may come in useful when using the Heavenly Demon's 9 swords. A figure is shown against a dark, mysterious background. With the narration, it could allow me to focus on the demon's 9 swords, which I can only fight with more effectively. Tang Woonhui apologizes. I'm sorry to the instructor, but the assassination and poison arts will have to wait. In a tense moment, Tang Gon asks, "What are you scheming now?" Showing suspicion or curiosity. Tang Woonhui replies, "You know they said that Lady Gu Jin has arrived." The scene concludes with Tang Gon reacting, "Ah, Tang Gui Jin, the two of you are close, right?" Tang Woonhui. Scene shift to showing flashback. Tang Gui Jin, smiling warmly, stands beside Tang Woonhui. As the narrative voice explains, his older sister and the only person in the 9 Dragons brunch family who treated Tang Woonhui like family. She was firmly engraved in Tang Woonhui's residual thoughts as family, emphasizing the deep bond. A scene shows Tang Woonhui in a serene setting, with the narration, "Even after becoming Tang Woonhui, I've received multiple letters from her. They were full of worries and affection." Tang Gon hopeful sentiment is shared. "I hope Tang Gui Jin will have an okay relationship with my Tang Woonhui." However, Tang Woonhui suggests, "I plan to become mortal enemies with Nam Gung Sanyong. Will she remain on my side?" Revealing his intentions and concerns. Tang Gon responds, "Today you have to go around greeting the elders in the clan. I shall return tomorrow." Tang Woonhui, looking determined, says, "I suppose so," showing his acceptance of the situation. Woonhui adds, "It will be difficult to do that." Tang Woonhui then suggests, "Then I should hurry up with my business before elder sister arrives." Finally, Tang Gon asks, "Is it the thing you will be starting from tomorrow?" Seeking clarification on the plan. Tang Woonhui, with a confident grin, declares, "Start." "But I've already done it." Scene shift to unknown figure, looking at the servant and speaks. "So you have restlessly stuck to the pill creation method for 10 days. Yes." Seeking confirmation. The servant confirms, "Yes, you are absolutely correct." The figure acknowledges with, "Good work," praising the servant's efficiency. The servant responds with gratitude, "Thank you," showing appreciation. The figure then addresses someone named Mu Yong. Mu Yong, calling out to them. He continues, "Do I just have to take care of him?" Asking for clarification on his role. Mu Yong replies, "Yes, as you wish," giving Mu Yong the freedom to proceed. Mu Yong explains, "Since he's been consuming madness poison for 10 days straight, I'm sure it's completely filled his system. Even if the guy's backer noticed and tries to detoxify him, it will be difficult to fully recover before Dark Sovereign's visit. We sent Tang Gon as an instructor for appearance's sake, but he's putting a surprising amount of effort into teaching. But even I took 8 whole days to learn the shadow steps from. No matter how much that bastard son tries to rampage, I'm sure he'll barely be able to learn one form before Dark Sovereign visits," expressing concern over potential threats. The issue is elder sister. Mu Yong, with a serious expression, talk himself. "I heard that as soon as she got here, she got into a huge fight with a mother." Mu Yong reflects. "There may be a setback in our current plans, Mu Yong. Once she turns 30, she should become the official successor of the 9 Dragons branch family. But she has too much sympathy to become the Tang clan's branch family leader." Tang Gu Jin is shown looking out into the sunset. With the narration, she didn't learn the clan's martial arts and immediately left for the Qingcheng sect. Despite all that, she is still the 9 Dragon branch family's successor, reaffirming her position. Mu Yong, with a confident smirk, muses, "The 9 Dragon branch family's successor, it should have been me, right?" A figure speak, "Young Master Yu Chang. A letter has arrived from the White Pavilion." He comments, "The White Pavilion? Sent them in?" The servant, holding letter, says, "Young Master, Yu Chang. It's young Woonhui's letter, that is period." He, looking intrigued, asks, "Why are you handing it over already?" Showing his curiosity. He shouts, "Tang Yu Chang, let's throw hands, fucker." "Ha, is the madness already taking effect? This goddamn bastard." Mu Yong, with a fierce expression, react, "No wait. It could be a plan set up by his backer. It could have a contraption that released poison that caused me to lose myself in anger." Once the letter opened, revealing the strategic use of anger. Mu Yong is shown handling the letter. It is something easily available within the Tang clan, indicating the accessibility of the contraption. Mu Yong continue. There's no special contraption. Huh? So it's simple provocation. Tang Wenhui, with a serious expression, states, I wish to reforge the awkward friendship we have had as brothers. He continues, let us release any pent-up bad blood like martial artists, through a spar. Muyong, looking at the servant, thinks, seems like he's trying to use some sort of trick. I need to turn that guy into my stepping stone in front of the Dark Sovereign and use that as fertilizer for my meteoric rice. He then instructs, tell him that I have received his letter and his suggestion, but that I reject the duel. The servant responds, yes. Understood. 1 hour later, a letter written with the word scared? With a smirk, comments, haha, that guy must be in a hurry. He will likely continue to send letters from the White Pavilion. The scene shifts to next morning, another letter with scared, written on wall. Muyong, with a commanding presence, instructs, someone go and tell the White Pavilion. He then declares with intensity, tomorrow at noon. Second training ground. In a fierce tone, Muyong shouts, I shall gladly shove his head into the shit pit. The servant, deliver massage to Wenhui, is what he ordered to be delivered, reflecting on Muyong's commands. Wenhui responds, is that so? Why'd he play hard to get if he was going to accept anyways? Tangon responds, how exactly do you think that I have an idea of what you did? Hinting at his awareness of the other's actions. Wenhui continues, my dear younger brother, how will he become a successor with such little patience? Tang Wenhui, with a smirk, replies, anyways, you're not going to stop me, right? Showing confidence in his own plans. Tangon, with a sly grin, says, why would I? The most entertaining fight to watch is about to happen. Showing his anticipation for the upcoming conflict. Tang Wenhui, with a fierce look, responds, right. So shall I begin butting heads with my dear little brother? Just enough to not kill him though.